Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2005 here in TEW 2020 as we're continuing on the road to WCW Bound for Glory, starting off in the ring for once as we have a big Cruiserweight title match as Reckless Roberts is putting his title on the line against Great Sasuke, and this is the sort of match you'd expect from these guys, Sasuke flying around and hitting his big, his big dives, using his taking a hold to keep Suzuki down eventually, a little bit of, distraction from Tracy Roberts, allowing Roberts to hit a few big moves, Roberts eventually hitting, a big sort of like, a fisherman suplex for a near fall, big lariat, hitting him with a Suzuki with a big right suplex, going up top for a frog splash, but Suzuki getting out of the way, Suzuki going up top for a big dive, Roberts hitting a few big moves, and then finally finishing Suzuki off with the Northern Lights 2K1 in a little over 12 minutes, little under 10 minutes by pinfall. He makes the fifth defense of the Cruiserweight Championship, as gets a 71, Reckless Roberts gets a 66, where Suzuki gets a 67. And yeah, fun stuff, and actually a better match because Suzuki's actually Suzuki's a little bit more over, and Suzuki's like actually has some, not popularity, but like some momentum. But anyway, the important thing is actually after the match, as, Tracy Roberts, his sister, rolls in the ring beside him as Roberts takes mic and says, "Once again, I've proven myself to be the greatest cruiserweight wrestler in the world today. And tonight, I prove once again I cannot be denied as the best. So just come out, whoever wants. I'll knock him down and prove I'm the best in the world." Tracy Roberts says, "That's right. He's my brother. He's the best in the business, and nobody can stop him." Then out comes Jim Tan Wrestling, out to their, wacky quasi Jersey Shore, EDM music theme, whatever we have for them. And, Romeo Rossi has Mike basically something like, wait. I was this close to beating you, Roberts. Despite you, and even despite all your help from your sister there. You see, the reason why I lost was pretty simple. I didn't have the backup I need to deal with you, as he pointed to Tracy Roberts. Because let's be honest, I'm not getting a woman, and neither is my man Tony. You're right. So, and then Tony says, "That's right. Romeo, Tony, we get Jim, we get Tan, we get the wrestle, but we needed a little backup to make sure your little skank of a sister didn't get involved. So, we got a little surprise with you, a little something to even the odds." Then out comes, who you may know as Becky Bayless, in her full, basically cookie game of DNA. Like, honestly, I remembered that she did this gimmick, and it makes sense for these guys, so here we go. So she takes a mic and is doing a full Jersey Shore over the top stereotypical accent, which I'm going to do. And Space says, "What's up, losers?" And she says to Tracy, "Listen, I'm here to make sure things stay fair and square. You want to back up your guys? Well, now they got a cookie to back them up." And Reckless fires back. They say, you guys must be desperate for some backup, but if you think adding her to side is going to make a difference, you're basically delusional. And Tracy says something about, her being a snack. You don't stand a chance against the best cruiser in the world. And Romeo's like, fine, put that title online once again and we'll see. And Reckless sort of brushes him off and says, "You're just going to have to prove it in the ring." So this gets a 45. Not bad. These guys aren't that over. Not Grab the Mic actually rated everybody. But her Jersey Girl gimmick got a very good but small penalty charisma, which is unfortunate, but still fun stuff. Not the best thing in the world, but it is what it is. You got to build some stories up after all. And then we go backstage. Well, we don't go back. We have the just cut to earlier tonight, where Awesome and Kanyon are basically brawling in the parking lot. Kanyon arrives, goes right after Awesome, and they brawl. The officials try to break them apart. Various refs, backstage guys get thrown apart when Bischoff finally, breaks an arm and says, wait, okay, look, you guys don't like each other. That's fine. But you're not booked for tonight, and you're not booked in a match tonight. If you want to face off at Bound for Glory, that's fine. But tonight, I have something a little more interesting that'll draw some ratings. So first, you, as he points at Mike Awesome. Brother Rey, he's the co-number one contender against whoever Revolution will pull up against him. But tonight, you're going to face him in a battle of guys who can go to the extreme. And you, Kanyon, you're in the main event. How about you go against somebody who's not busy at the moment and who has some history with, Jeff Jarrett? Pop for that, as it's, two big former ECW guys, and Keenan Sharpe were both part of the Horsemen a long time ago. Well, a long time ago was in early 2002. And that match gets set up, and we have 2 big matches for tonight, as this gets a 95, because, he's better than Kanyon, no, he's better than everybody, and he's going to give a Kanyon to Jarrett to send a message to Awesome, and blah, 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 same stuff from Awesome. So fun stuff as we move forward on the match here. And then we have a fun little promo as Jason Jett comes out, and he's, basically whining about not getting any shots. Week after week, I show up, and I'm ready to get in this ring and prove that I'm money, and that nobody's better than me. And what do I get in return? Nothing. No airtime, no matches, not even a promo. So I'm coming here to remind WCW management why I deserve a shot in the ring. And then the Nest music hits, and it gets a mixed pop, because, they're still evil, but they don't like Jason Jett, he's a cocky asshole, but also Raven's sort of, meh, all that fun stuff. And Raven, takes the mic, says something about, oh, you crave competition. You say you're unfulfilled, looking to shine, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you want to shine and have some competition, I have a deal to make with you. And Jet's like, yeah, fine, whatever. Come in the ring and get your ass kicked, Raven. You're goofy, you're spooky and scary, but I can kick your ass because I'm Jason Jett. And Raven's like, no. You see, I'm out of action at the moment. Well, I'm not ready for competition at the moment, and neither is my new servant, Morningstar. And Morningstar sort of glares at him. If you want to choose to prove your mettle, then be ready to face one of the most vicious men this industry has, my monster, Macias. Pop for that, as there's some light Macias is going to kill you chance from the marks in the audience, and Jet basically says no. Basically tries to throw it off, says, but look, it's not booked, but if you want to fight, fine, I'll have a fight. You think I'm going to be scared of Macias, as he's obviously scared of Macias? Fine, I'll face him, and I'll kick his ass and prove I deserve a shot on Nitro. Raven sort of smirks, says, quote the Raven, nevermore, and in comes Macias, and the match is on, and this gets to 78. Fun stuff as we're, continuing the Morningstar being his unhappy servant, Macias, and Raven, and then Jason Jett's here. Well, Jason Jett is here to get murdered. What got hurt here? Did I forget? Oh, right. Macias is still officially heel. I forgot about that. Oh, well. Okay, not the end of the world. I mean, this is just basically a squash for Macias killing Jason Jett in a little over 5 minutes. Like, Jett gets a little bit of spot in, and honestly, this kind of worked for the rating, because, the fans still aren't completely sure whether they should be cheering or booing the Nest. But eventually, Macias, Jett gets a little bit of offense here, but eventually, it's Macias. It's Jason Jett. You know what happens here. Macias destroys him with the Crucifix Powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. And post-match, Nest stands tall as Morgan shoots a look at Morningstar, but Morningstar puts his hand on her shoulder as this gets to 73, and we move forward here on Nitro. And next up, we got an interesting promo as Ken Anderson, your television champion, is backstage, doing backstage wrestling stuff, when he's confronted by Mark Jindrak, or I should say Magnificent Mark Jindrak, and Simply Johnny Devine. Anderson tries to push him off, he says, basically get out of my way, and, Jindrak says, look, you think you're special just because you're the new hot thing in the company. Well, I was TV champion before. I could take that title off you just like that. Anderson says, if you're feeling froggy, come jump, because I'm ready to kick whoever's ass in my way. Whether it's both of you idiots, one of you idiots, or whoever. Hell, I'll even take on your boss. Because I'm Ken Anderson, and I'm an asshole, but I'm ready to kick some ass. And Jindrak, basically says he's magnificent, and he could take, and he's the true powerhouse of the chosen few. But even Simply Johnny Devine could take that title off of you. And there's a stare down before they leave, and Anderson still looks cocky, but it seems like we have something going on here as this gets a 75. Fun stuff. And then we have a backstage promo as General Barash is with your number one contender, Brother Rey. As, Barash asks him about, facing Mike Awesome tonight, and then, Palumbo at the pay-per-view. And, Brother Rey's basically like, well, here's the thing. You always got to be ready for a fight when you're a street fighter like me, Barash. Week after week, day after day, month after month, year after year, I've been in brawls. I've gone through tables. I've been dealing with fire, cages, blood, barbed wire, and it all. And yeah, Mark Awesome, you've been the king of Extreme before. But we've never really battled in that ring, one-on-one, in a way. So, Awesome, you think, you've been abandoned? Everybody's in prime for it as they're over on Revolution, and you're stuck here in Nitro all alone, and you want to prove yourself, but fine. I'm the number one contender for a reason. I kicked your ass in that cage, and I walked out. And I'll kick your ass tonight too, awesome. And don't you forget about it. And Barashmi got the world title match if he's worried about who's going to be the other man in the ring, alongside with Palumbo, and Brother Ray pressures him off. And, Chucky, he basically says, it doesn't matter who's the other man in the ring, because I'm focused on one man, and that's Chuck Palumbo. Chucky, yeah, you managed to win the title, you managed to beat Goldberg, but your luck's about to run out. When we're in that ring at Bound for Glory, that title's kind of around our waist. I'm going to prove I'm the king of Street Fighters. I'm the true king of Extreme. And after Bound for Glory, I'm going to be WCW World Champion. And there's nobody, and I mean nobody, that does it better than Brother Ray. Brother Ray walks off, and, continuing the push for the main event, or the main event, but the big match tonight, and the main event at Bound for Glory, as this gets a 94. Good stuff from Brother Ray, honestly. And then we have, basically, this is a squash match. Hideka and Lynn get their spots in as they get their kicks, and Lynn gets to be, veteran guy, getting some spots in with the Hart Legacy. But the Hart Legacy basically get I don't say they dominate here, as it's back and forth, but eventually Evans and Teddy fly their multiple-time tag team champions, and eventually Teddy Hart hits the open heart surgery on Hakuda Hataka to get the pinfall victory here in a little over 5 minutes. This gets a 60, just basically pure spots. Evans gets a 92, Teddy gets a 66, Hataka gets a 57, Lynn gets a 45. Fun stuff as Evans continues to get the cheers of the female fans. And then after the match, they actually take the mic. And, they start out as Teddy Hart says, tonight, we prove what we do best. Showcase why we're one of the best tag teams in the world. But there's something else we need to talk about. Eddie, last week, it seemed you were upset that we helped save Sean O'Hare at Halloween Havoc. And then Jack Stephens says, Eddie, we used to have respect for you. You're Guerrero. Your name, like ours, actually means something in this business. But yeah, you've edged a line, you've bent the rules, but hey, that's wrestling. Everybody does what they need to do to get on top of this business. We do it our way, others do it our way. Hell, we've had family members do it other ways, but that's fine. But at Halloween Havoc, you're about to end Sean O'Hare's career for no other reason than you were sick of wrestling him. And that, frankly, is pathetic. It's not edging the line, Eddie. You spit on it, you've crossed it, and that's why we had to come out there and stop you. And then Teddy Thompson says, yeah, and you may not like it, and you may not care about our respect from two punks wherever you might think of us, but we're here to protect the legacy of professional wrestling, so we're ready to get in that ring with you one way or the other. And then, Jack Simpson says, you mentioned, our station or whatever BS, Teddy. Well, here's the thing, Eddie. Just like you've got Guerrero family values, we've got Hart family values. And if you get in that ring with us, you'll see that we're not two punk kids rising top. We're multiple-time tag team champions, and we're on the verge of breaking out. I was this close to becoming the man winner. And you gotta remember, we have legacy in our name for a reason. So solid promo, calling out Eddie, calling this little feud that's building up as this gets a 74. Teddy Hart didn't do great, but hey, it's Teddy Hart, what can you do? And then we cut backstage where the, Truth is backstage, basically rapping to himself in the mirror. When in comes Alex Wright, Truth's ready for a fight, and Wright puts our hands up and says, I'm not here to fight you, but I'm here to challenge you. You see, I've gone my own path, and I defeated Fury at Halloween Havoc. My former partner is nowhere to be seen. And I want competition. And Truth, I may not like what you say, I may not like you try to appease these idiot fans, but I appreciate your talent. I want competition. So ready to fight against Naswanda Barak, right, for the US title. And Truth basically does a quick rap where he makes some jokes about, Wright being German and turning out his partners, and accepts the match. So next week we got Alex Wright versus Truth for the US title, as this gets a 79. Fun stuff. And then we have a interesting little segment, which doesn't do great, but it's these four guys, not exactly all masters on the mic, as, Evolution are backstage with Flair when the Hardys step in, and, there's some little, self-congratulatory stuff, but eventually the Hardys say, look, we already mentioned last week that you think you're the number one contenders to the tag team championships. And Flair, says, of course they are. They've been triple threat tag match. They've been dominant so far. My man. And Matt Rose is like, but here's the thing. We're the former tag team champions, and you saw how we lost those belts. So once Ninkyo are done with the AMW or AMW tag champs, look, we'll give you a tag title shot eventually, but we want another shot at tag titles first. And Lashley sort of steps up ready to fight, and Flair steps by and says, wait, no. You see, we won the triple threat tag match, brother. And you think we're just going to step aside just because you've been tag champions a few times? No. These men, just like me, are ready to be the best in the business. Sure that diamonds are forever, and that evolution is coming to the wrestling business, whether you like it or not. And Jeff steps in, basically trying to please Meeker, and says, fine. You guys want a title shot? We want the title shot first. So how about next week here, right on Nitro, we face off in a little friendly match, and whoever wins is the new number one contenders for Bound for Glory. Flair is about to play off when Claudio steps and says, fine, we'll wrestle you, and we'll beat you, because we are the future. So fun stuff, and another match set up next week as Hardys versus Evolution in a babyface match as this gets a 66. Fun stuff. And then we have, so here's the thing. I put the Keenan Jarrett match because I was worried about this match not doing well enough to actually main event. But hey, it's Brother Ray and Mike Awesome, and basically, it is what it is. It's a fight, it's a brawl. It's three men, it's two men kicking each other's ass for 12 minutes. We've got tables, we got kendo sticks, we have a table involved. Mike Awesome goes for Awesome Bomb on the table late, but Brother Ray fights out of it and actually it's a big suplex on Awesome through the table. Awesome does the big, suicide dive on Brother Ray earlier in the match. He, goes for, big punches, lariats, big boots to get a gain advantage. Brother Ray fights back with his own brawling, suplexes, going for the Brother Ray bomb late, but, eventually, kicking out of it, not kicking it, but, Awesome breaking out of it. DTs from Brother Ray, going to separate rope and hitting a big shoulder block on Awesome to knock him down. But eventually, Awesome goes for one more Awesome bomb. Brother Ray backdrops out of it, hits a huge spear, then hits the sort of a modified Bubba Cutter because he can't quite get Awesome up, and then brings him up. Brother Ray bomb, 1, 2, 3, a huge victory for Brother Ray over Mike Awesome here on Nitro, as this goes a little under 13 minutes, because, these guys can't go brawl for 15 minutes. It gets a 90, Brother Ray gets a 92, Mike Awesome gets an 84. Fun stuff. But then, as Mike Awesome slides out of nowhere, Chuck Palumbo comes into the ring and just drills Brother Ray from behind with a chair. Brother Raven Rain also, comes in, looking like the biker chick she is, and just, being cocky as Palumbo, kicks the crap out of Brother Ray, and then he, takes the mic from the ring out and just says, hey, Raven, get the tables. That gets a boo as Raven comes out, goes outside and kind of quickly because, it's 125, she's a wrestler, but she's still small and the tables are big. Palumbo, basically takes the mock Brother Ray and says, Brother Ray, you thought you deserved this shot? No, you're nothing. I'm the WCW World Champion for a reason. I am the revolution. I am the future of this business. And you're just a bingo hall bitch who's going to get his ass kicked. And then eventually, Raven Rain gets a table in, Palumbo sets it up, Brother Ray kind of, gets a little bit of a comeback, but Palumbo nails him with a few big moves and then picks him up and hits the full throttle through the table to lay Brother Ray out a couple weeks out from Bound for Glory. Big boos as the world champion makes a statement here on Nitro as this gets a 97. And then, this gets a 35. I mean, that's what I suspected. So yeah, this is Matt Cross, 2005 era Matt Cross, so still a big beer yet. Eventually, this is Matt Cross with his new character of Maverick Chance, basically playing a X Games athlete. So you see, we get sort of a voiceover of, he's the most extreme athlete in the world today. And now he's coming to WCW as we see him basically doing random stuff, skydiving, base jumping, motorcycle riding, some stuff he's doing, some stuff probably we're just getting B-roll footage of him as, he basically says, then we get a statement that says he's going to take things to the extreme here in WCW because he's a Maverick willing to take a chance. Then Maverick Chance coming to WCW soon. So 35 because he's not that over, but hey, building him up. And he would have been back here sooner, but he got injured, so there we are. And then, oof, okay, this was not great, but I mean, this is one of those segments that'll be better remembered for its goofiness more than anything. So, basically, Leppan and Toland come out to the ring, and then they bring out Dawn Marie, and they basically go over what's been happening in a few weeks. You know, Dawn Marie bringing in Romeo Rossi and it being a failure, getting involved in tag matches, booking them not even in match with each other, and you know, Leppan says it's an insult to the biggest rising international talent in WCW today and the sexiest man in WCW. Dawn Marie says, "Look, I brought you guys into this company. I've got your chances at titles. I've helped you," and he's pointing to Tank, get almost to the finals of the mid-game tournament. And Leppan and Toland are like, brush her off and says, "Look, Dawn, you've had your moments. I admit it. You've managed legends in the past, but perhaps you've been giving too much of a hands-on management style, if you know what I mean." And yes, this is 2005, so you know where this is going. And Tank heads in and says, you know, something about being around the street, giving guidance. Again, mixed pop because 2005 crowds are horny, but also, you know, this is kind of sucky. And, you know, something about, you know, experience more corners than a ring. But they eventually say, you know, we've decided we're going to be on our own for now, and we no longer require any of your services. We've decided to give you a few parting gifts. Then basically we kind of get the Lita Senbai stuff from Crime Time, where there's some like goofy, you know, quasi-sexual innuendo gifts to Dawn Marie. Crowd is booing. Dawn Marie walks away as Leppan then say, "Now we're on our own, and we're going to prove we didn't need anybody's help because we are the future of tag team wrestling here in WCW." So 57, simply because like these guys don't all have great ratings as far as mic skills, but I figured like I've been building it for the past few weeks, so it deserves some time, and there we go. Dawn Marie's contract is ending tomorrow. Like, she's not over, and she's not that great as far as mic stuff, so sort of letting her go and see what she does. But 57, again, it is what it is. And then we get our Revolution recap, focusing on Gail Kim getting the big win over Johnny Lawler with help as this gets to 71, and it's time for our main event of Kanyon versus Jeff Jarrett. And oof, okay, actually not quite as good. Interesting. King got a 95, Jarrett got an 89. Did this get hurt by anything? I don't think so. I mean, lack of even storyline. Stamina, Kanyon was slightly, okay, that's interesting. Okay, so Jarrett and Kanyon are both old, honestly. So I should have had them like slow it down instead of going all out, but whatever. You know, this is still a very good match. Like, you know, these are still two of the guys, top of the game. And, you know, it's Jarrett doing his southern brawling and, you know, keeping things under control slow at first, but Kanyon fights back with his own brawling and fighting. Eventually match, you know, spills to the outside. You know, Jarrett actually locks on a sleeper hold, but Kanyon quickly turns into a jawbreaker. Kanyon hits some, you know, big moves, you know, including his Northern Line suplex, and actually hits the flatliner for a near fall, but Jarrett kicks out. You know, Kanyon picks him up to a fireman's carry into a cutter for a near fall. Then goes for flatliner again, but Jarrett goes low. Things eventually break down. And then we actually have Jindrak and Simply Johnny Divine coming down, well, to basically, you know, get involved in the match. But then out comes Ken Anderson, and the brawl starts, and they brawl to the back. And that's just enough for Jarrett to get distracted and Kanyon nail him with the Kanyon cutter to get the pinfall victory here after 19 minutes. As this gets an 89, like I said, Kanyon gets a 95, Jarrett gets an 89. Very good match, you know. Honestly, I was kind of hoping for a 92 or 93. But, you know, stuff happens. I should have stuck with the, you know, storyline not quite as hot. But, you know, basically, you know, Jarrett rolls out, and Kanyon is celebrating when, you know, basically the rest of the Chosen Few come out, and it's a 3-on-1, and then Mike Austin comes out for a 4-on-1, and it's a total beatdown for a couple minutes. You know, Kanyon trying to fight, and actually hits a Kanyon cutter on the relationship between John and Divine before Kanyon gets his ass kicked. When out of nowhere, Sean Hair music comes in, and he comes out with a chair, clearing the ring, you know, getting Simply Johnny, you know, getting Chosen Few, and, you know, Awesome to clear the ring. Kanyon helps. O'Hare helps Kanyon up as they stand tall to end the show, as this gets a 99, finishing things up very well, as the show gets us a 92. So good stuff. Again, you know, O'Hare basically missing injuries from Eddy, but moving on, helping out Kanyon here, moving on to a new feud, and, you know, basically setting things up here. And it's Antisocial. He's much better in the ring. Like, you know, anyway. We'll just see what Raw did here. I'll see if there's any interesting news, and we'll go from there. as this loads up. Fun times. I gotta love the loading here. Yeah. Oh, right. This is literally Dawn's last week. Okay. Morningstar thinks. Okay. Let's see here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I'll come back to this in a second. That's insane. That's what. Okay. Wow. Okay. So we got a 2.78, which I think might be our max rating here with TBS. Paramount got a 2.99. So Rick Steiner going over Ron Waterman, Grandmaster Sexy and the Outcast defeating Fit Finley, Crowbar, and Adam Jacobs. Caleb Line and Punk defeating Viscera and Thrasher. And 81, Vampiro defeating Joey Matthews, Molly Holly defeating Elizabeth Love. DDT defeating Crash Holly in a tables match in a 64, Jesus. But of course, in the main event, Angle and Edge defeated Jericho's Jerks, Jericho and Big Show, in a 99. So what I did here is the game had a stable of Jericho, Batista, and TNA, and because Batista's with Cornette, I moved Batista out, put Big Show in, because they've had Team Up before. And, it's also Jericho, so a little, but still, 99 for sort of a crappy show outside of this. Welcome to, but they still only got an 88, which is interesting. So the split is kind of hurting their TV stuff, but they're still doing very well in the ratings. But yeah, that's it for the moment. I'll be back in just a second with Revolution. And now it's time for Revolution, live from beautiful Bakersfield, California, at the Robank Arena. This is not at all me not accounting for getting to the cities quicker, so I'm looking at smaller arenas before the show. Anyway, I'll just put over the huge tag title match, as of course, Ninkyo have to put their titles on the line against America's Most Wanted in tonight's main event because of the contract, the match the Hardys sign up for, and as champions, Ninkyo have to, take on all of the Hardys contracts. So this opening, 74, as we go to the ring for another big tag match. As in a preview of the Women's Championship match happening at Bound for Glory, European Union take on Nattie Neidhart, and the WCW Women's World Champion, Tricia Skye. And this is a back and forth match. Honestly, Nattie looks, this is probably the best Nattie's going to look as far as getting a pop because we're in the Southwest. But, back and forth match, an European Union are the more well put together team. They've been former women's tag team champions, and they were dominant even before that. And, they take apart, they focus on Neidhart. Of course, she's, the less, has a less tenure here. So, Busek, takes her apart with Bold. Colt takes her down. It's a DDT, goes for the icebreaker, backbreaker, but Tricia Skye makes a save. Eventually, Busek goes for a big suplex, but Nattie blocks it, hits one of her own, tags Tricia Skye, who comes in a House of Fire. Back and forth, Tricia Skye hits her big chick kicks, big forearms, suplexes, big brawls. Things eventually break down, and eventually Nita Colt is eventually able to send Tricia Skye into an exposed corner, then roll up with a rolling reverse cradle and a crucifix to get the pinfall victory, 1, 2, 3, over the Women's World Champion. The boos of the crowd in a very good opening match here. As this gets an 82, Pisa gets a 74, Nita Colt gets a 93, Tricia Skye gets a 77, Neidhart gets a 53. Fun stuff, as Nikita's also very over because of her time in Women's Dev Fed here, but really fun stuff as post-match. The heels celebrate as he enters put over that this happens at Bound for Glory. We're going to have a new Women's World Champion in the form of Nikita Colt in a victory over the legendary Tricia Skye, as this gets a 70. Good stuff. But then, at the entrance, we've got a commotion going on backstage as we see Billy Kidman and Lance Storm basically kicking the crap out of Shelton Benjamin. Eventually, WCW officials, break things down, break things apart, pulling off Kidman and Storm as, Storm is, yelling at him, this is my ring, stay the hell out of my way. And Taylor Lancome says, what the hell, players? What the hell do you think you're all doing? Here's the thing. You think you're going to get out of this? No, you're not getting out of this. So Lance Storm, you think you're going to be part of the Fatal 4-Way tonight? No, you're not. I'm going to find you a replacement. And Billy Kidman, you're very lucky that I don't tell AJ Styles whatever he wants, you're going to be involved. So playa, this is not a Banana Republic. This show is under my control, no matter what you may want. And the officials check on Shelton as the announcers put over, Lance Storm is now out of the Fatal 4-Way later tonight for the title shot at Bound for Glory, but who will replace him, and will Shelton Benjamin be ready? As this gets an 84, furthering the feud and setting things up for later tonight. And then we go backstage where Amy Weber is with Ninkyo and, and of course their manager Stacy Keibler, as, Amy Weber asked, Stacy Keibler about the title match later tonight. And, Stacy basically says, first, let's talk about the reality. This match should not be happening. I've been trading my men for a title match at Bound for Glory, not putting the belts up for him. But, it's not a problem. They'll simply prove that no matter what hurdles that are put in front of them, they'll prove why they are the best tag team in the business for a reason, why they were chosen by the very important investors back in Japan to be the top tag team in the world, and why I was brought in to manage them. And Weber's they're for 3-time tag team champions. TCB says, we don't need a strategy. We have the precision, the discipline, the skill, and the power of these men. You think Kaz's killer instinct knocking people out is going to be able to stop by a couple of drunkards? You think Yang flying around is going to be able to be stopped by those two men? No. They're the epitome of tag team wrestling. AEW should be the ones worrying about their strategy, not us. And Amy talks about Stacey getting involved. He says, I do what I do for my talent, whoever I'm managing. Now I'm more focused than ever after going to Japan and being brought in to this side of the business. Tonight, America's Most Wanted, you're just stepping stones on our path to prove we're the best tag team in the world today, and nobody will deny that after tonight. So fun stuff. 79, Stacey, goes well, putting over the, big match later tonight. And then we have basically, I don't want to say a squash match because Siaki gets his spots in, but this is basically just Rey Jr., like a showcase for the former WCW World Champion, as he flies around like Sasuke, gets a little bit of brawling in, and he gets the fight back, but it's Rey Jr., so Rey Jr. flies around, eventually hits 619, and picks the pinball in over 6 minutes. Like, I would make this, a little more fancy, but it is what it is. Like, these are, Rey Jr. is a former world champion, Siaki's just trying to get his, start here on Revolution, and unfortunately, he's facing up very talented wrestlers such as this. So this goes about a little under 6 minutes. Rey Jr. gets the win. He gets a 93. So Siaki gets a 56. And that's basically the match. But then after the match, Rey Jr. takes the mic and he says, here's the thing. I'm going to try to get straight to the point here. I've been very successful here in this business. I've been a Cruiserweight champion. I've been a tag team champion. I've even been world champion. I've been friends. I've made enemies. But the worst thing about this business is what can happen to your friends. You see, Rob Van Dam, SA, we used to be best friends. We used to be partners. You've been in my home. You've been with my family. And now, you get back with that bastard Heyman? Come on. We both know exactly what he was like in the Land of Extreme when he was in charge. You think, have I forgotten it just because I was there for a short time? There's a reason why I was there for a short time, Heyman, and you know exactly why. Then cue, of course, Walk and Heyman and RVD coming out. Wow. Yes, Jesus Christ, this is good. Okay, 100, yes. And Heyman's like, ladies and gentlemen, my client, Rob Van Dam, is the biggest star in professional wrestling today, and he is Mr. Wednesday Night for a reason. But Rey Jr., I do remember how I did business. I remember bringing in a tiny little luchador wrestler who nobody knew outside of the dirt sheets, and I brought him to prominence. I made you one of the hottest free agents in the world, and I allowed you to sign that big contract to WCW. And in reality, you're the reason, I'm the reason why you're standing there right now, selling all those masks, selling all those t-shirts, getting all those merchandise and dollars. But now, I'm focusing on the man who should be the biggest star in this business, a former world champion, the man of the hour, Mr. Wednesday Night, Mr. Pay-Per-View, the whole effing show, Rob Van Dam. Every day somebody says, Rey, it's not turning my back on you, man. Look, it was nothing personal. I was doing what was best for number one, and that's Rob Van Dam. If you're unhappy about that, fine, I'll get out the ring and I'll kick your ass. It'll be nothing personal, man. And, Rey fires back. It is personal, Rob. Because you turn your back on your fans and you turn your back on me to go with that slime. And honestly, that's kind of insult to slime. And Van Dam says, fine, you want me in the ring? Come to Bound for Glory, and I'll remind you why I was world champion for months, and you lost it at the first time you got in the ring with somebody else. He's like, yeah, I've heard it all before. And Rob, you're all right. I fought bigger and better than you. You'll be the first to underestimate me, and you won't be the last to regret it. At Bound for Glory, I'll get in the ring. I'll prove why I was world champion, why I was king of the cruiserweights, and why I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. Heyman's like, we'll just have to see about that. But as an advocate, my man, Rob Van Dam, will be happy to take you on for Bound for Glory. Go out, tag along, and make the match official. Because at Bound for Glory, there will be one winner. And RVD steps in, points himself, says RVD. You just stare down, and this gets a 100, as these guys are great, and putting over the big match coming up at Bound for Glory. And then we go backstage, where America's Most Wanted are hanging out with Trevor Murdoch. Trevor Slater. That's his, old name. And Amy Wilbur is also there. And, Amy Wilbur is trying to be professional, but, Trevor Slater's like, making, goo eyes at her and tipping his cap, and Amy Wilbur just sort of like, smirking at it. But, just, okay, guys, we gotta talk. So, later tonight, main event, tag title shot. What's going through your minds? And, Chris Harris says, what's going through our minds? Come on. It's pretty simple. Getting back what's ours. You see, we've been multiple-time tag team champions, and we weren't happy about the Hardys beating us, but we were ready to move on. What happened? Ninkyo taking the titles means we get our tag title shot, and we're going to take back our gold. And Storm says, look, you think you're unstoppable just because you had Stacy Keibler and all that backing from Japan? That's fine. We'll kick your ass anyway, because we're America's Most Wanted, and we're the best tag team in this business. And Trevor Substance says, and don't worry, Stacy, you try to get involved, I'll come out here, and I might even come out there and give you a spanking. And he sort of smiles at that and says, come on, Trevor, be nice. And Trevor says, I'll be nice. That doesn't have to be good. And then Storm follows up and says, Stacy can get involved all she wants, but at the end of the day, it's going to be us and Ninkyo in that ring, and nobody is better than AEW, and we're going to come back and get back our tag team titles. You may have got the titles, you may think you're only defending this because of a loophole, but loopholes, whatever. It won't save you from justice. Because later tonight, it's going to be one simple thing. Sorry about your damn luck. And this only gets a 55 because I actually rated Trevor and Amy Weber, but what can you do? Continuing this little love story, I guess. It's goofy, but only gets a 55 as we move forward to our next thing, which is a big match here, I believe. Right, yeah, okay. So, of course, over the past couple, weeks, Keenan Sharpe has gone over Keith Walker. Keith Walker has been trying to fire back, but now they're finally in the ring here in Revolution. And, Tori Wilson is at ringside for her charge, Keith Walker. And it's a back and forth match, like just quick strikes, big strikes, Muay Thai kicks from Keenan Sharpe, trying to keep him on holds. Keith Walker came with gut or suplexes, trying to hit his own MMA styles. But eventually, Sharpe nails Walker with a actual poke to the eye while the ref isn't looking. Then sort of like nails him in the throat with a kick. Tori Wilson tries to talk to the ref, and then while the ref is distracted, Sharpe nails Walker with the kendo stick, locks in a submission, uses the ropes for leverage, and with Walker out, the ref has to call for the bell, and Keenan Sharpe gets the big win over Keith Walker here on Revolution, as this gets a 71, Walker gets a 52, Keenan Sharpe gets an 82, as this feud continues, as Walker will, of course, still want revenge, but then as, Walker, as Sharpe keeps a hold on, Tori Wilson tries to pull him off after the ref fails, and Sharpe gets up and, confronts, Tori Wilson as Keith Walker is, sort of like, laid out, trying to recover, and Tori Wilson, sort of like pushes him, and Keenan Sharpe actually pushes her back, and Tori Wilson takes a bump to a big heel pop for the crowd as Sharpe walks away, as this gets a 68. Fun stuff. This feud obviously has to continue. And then we go backstage, where Booker T is talking to Shelton Benjamin, and he's basically saying, look, Shelton, you can step away from this match. You're out, and you'll get another opportunity. You have a long career in front of you. I don't want Yusaka to get permanently injured. And Shelton says, no, I gotta go out there and fight. I'm fine. I can't let Storm and Kidman get what they want. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to prove I'm the future of this business. I'm going to earn my chance into that triple threat at Bound for Glory. Booker says, Sensei says, Pat Shoulder, good luck, man. Show what you got, Yusaka. And Shelton agrees, and looks like Shelton is going to be in the Fatal 4-Way later tonight, as this gets a 72. And then we have the announcers cutting to footage from a house show which is what's going to be Alley Danger versus ODB, but this is eventually, basically escalates to a big old fight at the outside, and Gail Kim comes out for a beatdown on ODB, and that brings out Johnny Lawler for a fight, and things break down, and they actually brawl through the ringside area into the crowd before the officials break things apart. As you put over, this feud is getting more hot and heavy, even out there on WCW live events, so a little hint for that, as it gets a 64. Building things up. And then before the big fatal four-way, Chuck Palumbo comes out to ringside as this gets a 62, as it's just Palumbo and Raven Ring coming out, basically as he gets down at ringside. And then, all three men come out to the ring, and then Teddy Long comes out to top of the ramp, and he says, players. Hey, Lance Storm was taken out of this match because of his attack on Shelton Benjamin. I'm glad Shelton Benjamin was a tough man and decided to wrestle, but we still need a fourth man. And you see, there's been a lot of talk about contract loopholes and what can happen in this business. So what I did was I looked over some loopholes, and I brought in somebody who, because he wrestled here on Revolution, is officially a free agent due to a clause in his contract. So now welcome the newest member of the Revolution roster, who has been getting used how he should be on Nitro, Jonathan Toro. Toro comes out, and he takes Mike and says, yes, I may no longer have my soldiers, but I'm still the leader of a new Roman Empire. I'm going to shock the world by dominating and conquering the ring tonight. And he comes out to the ring, as this gets a 68, so basically, didn't have really room. He had done his feuds, but I didn't want to wait till after the show. But he had wrestled because of the Mayhem tournament on Revolution, so, that's a quasi-loophole, so there we are. Okay, this was a lot better than... Again, this could have been the main event. I mean, this was a banger. This was all four guys, just throwing everything out there. London flying around, Shelton Benjamin hitting suplexes, Cash doing his bully cruiserweight stuff on London, getting to have a fun little match with Shelton. Is there a little mini feud that originally set things off? Toro, getting his spots in, hitting it roar elbow for a near fall on Shelton, Cash getting involved in two heels brawling, London flying around, Toro eventually hitting Shelton with a big big clothesline to the outside. They go outside. Benjamin actually dives off the ring apron onto Toro, but Toro catches him and sends him into the ringside barrier. Cash going for his money clip, but London getting out of it. London eventually hitting a few big moves, including a modified sliced bread number 2 after his quasi partner in another timeline, and then hitting a big super kick, going up top. London calling 1, 2, 3. Paul London will be the other member of the Triple Threat at Bound for Glory as he wins the match here in an 85. London gets a 92, Toro gets a 63, Benjamin gets a 68, Cash gets a 70. Really good stuff. And of course, after the match, London is celebrating, and we see Palumbo, mocking, clapping him on the right side as he takes the mic from the announcer and says, congratulations, Paul, who just signed your own death warrant. You see, you could have been out of my way, finally. But now, you're getting involved in my business. And this is always going to be my business, as he points out the WCW World Championship. So London, you think this is your pinnacle? This isn't your pinnacle. Boy, this is your ending. And London just takes the mic and says, Palumbo, I got a 1 in 3 shot at Bound for Glory, and I'm going to take advantage of that shot. Because after Bound for Glory, I'm going to be walking out the WCW World Champion. Big pop for that, as 83 as we move forward with the show. Then we cut to backstage after the match as AJ Styles is pacing, in the backstage area, and he says, so here we are. Look, I win the call shot, and I got a guaranteed ticket to a World Championship match, and I called my shot for a Starrcade. And now, suddenly, everybody and their brother suddenly wants a piece of the Phenomenal One. But hey, that's fine. I'm used to it. I thought it was going to be Bronte Brown, then Booker, you came out, then Kidman, you came out, and you all want a shot at this, as he points to the call shot. I earned it, and I'm not letting it go. Not for you, Monty. Not for you, Booker. Not for you, Kidman. You see, Monty, you've been going after me for months. You think you're the hunter. You think you're the alpha male. And look, you're a big son of a bitch. You're a badass. You're a tough guy, a former Super Bowl champion. But you better be ready for a fight if you want to get that ring with me. The hunter can be the hunted pretty damn quickly, no matter whether it's the plains of Serengeti or the wrestling ring. And Booker T, you're six-time world champion. And look, you're one of the best in the business. But this is now. You're looking at the future. And I'm not getting involved in what's ever going on with you, Kidman, Storm, Shelton. But I'm not going to let you walk over me to get at them, because this is still mine. Finally, Kidman, yeah, you're a former world champion. You got Storm by your side. You're the triumvirate. You got all of it. But you're a former world champion. I've taken on the best in the world to come out top. And Kidman, you're going to be no different, even if we've never gotten in the ring before. You're just one more hurdle before Starrcade for me. So here's the thing. If all of you want a shot, I'll take on all of you. Brown, Kidman, Booker. You want me to put this on the line before Starrcade? You want to put on my main event on the line before Starrcade? Fine, let's do it. 4-way match. I'm not just heeding to fight my title shot, though. I'm fighting to prove I am the absolute best in the world. I am the face of the revolution. And I am going to be the face that runs this place. Because that's how you make history. That's how you become truly phenomenal. And after Bound for Glory, I'm just going to have this contract. Because this is my house. And after Starrcade, not only will be the call shot winner, I'm going to prove I am the phenomenal one. And I am the face of the revolution. And your next WCW World Champion. So, really good promo. 85, setting up the official 4-way for Bound for Glory as we go to our main event tonight. Well, first we have a Raw recap focusing on... Nitro recap, not Raw. Wow, okay. That's a slip. 67, and then we go to our main event, which might be a little worse than I thought because I forgot the heat on this feud is bad because of I just lost it. Anyway. Oof, okay. Yeah, that's a little disappointing. Honestly... Let's see here, 78 for these guys. Yeah, let me see. Is there anything else going on except for the low heat? Lack of associate storyline. Yeah, okay. Very hot crowd, though. High title prestige. Good stuff. Okay. So, I mean, this is like basically, this is a really good match in front of a hot crowd. But it's not quite as good as it could be because, there's not that quite much heat on the storyline because, honestly, I messed up and I might have to, reorganize it. But this is a really fun match. This is all four men going at each other. Harrison Storm hitting their double team finishers, Sunset Flip power bombs, death sentences, hitting 5-second rides. Oh, God, what is it called? Forgot about... No. I totally forgot about... Anyway, Storm hitting the Storm Warning, then Kaz and Yang hitting their big moves, kicks, flying around, Yang flying around, shooting star press, hitting moonsaults, hitting, dives, double teams, back and forth, both men going all at each other, over and over, near falls, Kaz hitting a big kick on James Storm, but Chris Harris makes the save, Harrison Storm actually hitting the death sentence on Yang, but Kaz making the save. Eventually, things break down, Stacy Keibler tries to get involved, but as promised, Trevor Slater comes out and actually picks her up and carries her to the back, and that's just enough of a distraction for A&W to nail... Oh, it's right there. For Nail to knock Kaz out of the ring with a double team super kick. And then Chris Harris nails Yang. Well, Storm hits Yang with a 5-second ride. Then Chris Harris picks up Yang. Catatonic. 1, 2, 3. Your winners and new World Tag Team Champions are America's Most Wanted. Like I said, this only gets an 81, unfortunately. Kaz gets a 97 because he's great. Yang gets a 69. Storm gets an 80. Harris gets a 76. And, of course, after the match, Babyface to celebrate with the titles, and just put over what does this mean for the tag titles. As it gets a 69, so overall the show gets us an 87. Okay, so yeah, basically, early part of the show would have been probably a 90 or 91 if I would have put this as the main event or if this had higher heat, but still a really good show. So yeah, for the pay-per-view, that means the official main event is Chuck Palumbo versus Brother Ray versus Paul London. The exact kind of main event you would expect for WCW 2005, of course. We've got the 4-way called shot match. We've got Tricia Skye versus Nattie Neidhart for the Women's Championship. We have the, let's see here. We have what seems to be RVD versus Ray Jr., possibly Kanyon versus Mike Awesome, a tag title match. Who knows what happened with U.S. title, and maybe Romy Rossi getting another chance at the Cruiserweight Championship. We'll just have to see. Let's see. Let's look at the mail. Also, Stevie Ray left. I didn't basically, he was only originally re-signed to keep Booker happy. But, now he's gone. So there we go. So, yeah. Again, looking at our storylines. We have Who's Gourley, which is basically our, main event, which is at a 60, which is at 85. Against the Darkness is at a 75. Cruiser Stuff is at a 58. Evolution is a Mystery, which is Evolution by each other, is at a 73. Family Values, which is the Eddy Guerrero Hart Legacy feud, is at a 67. I guess just because, like, yeah, matches and such. Jim Tan Recklessness, which is a new feud, is at a 41. Never Friends, Now Enemies, is at a 77. Top of the Heat, which is the new Jared O'Hare feud, which is sort of a, spoiler on what's happening there, is an 89. Ryan Chavez the other Grid is at a 72. And Advocates at a 94. Captivating the Champions at a 75. European Skies at an 82. Not Quite a Triumvirate is at an 86. Revolution Rising, which is now just AJ Monty, is at an 89. Starcross, which is the whole Goofy, Cash Slater, and Whoever feud, at a 55. The Tag Title feud's at a 56. Walking the Path at a 68. And the Women's Tag feud is at a 69. So fun stuff there. And of course, this makes AMW 4-time Tag Team Champions. And again, if we look at the rest of the wrestling world, WWE had SmackDown, which included Rico Constantino defeating Samu in a tables match. Sure. Lots of interviews with Steven Richards team with Streets of the Suburbs, which is Homicide and Spanky, defeating Val Venus, Mark Henry, Funaki, and a 79. Spike Dudley defeats Scott Hall. Scott Hall's on his way out, it seems. And no, I'm not re-signing him because there's no point to. He's not even that over. Kane defeated Animal in a 65. Billy Gunn defeated Devin Boy in a 81. Michaels defeated Rikishi in a 96. And in the main event, Benoit Steiner defeated Regal and Undertaker in a random 99, because of course they did. If we look at our Dev Fed, let's see here. NWA Wildside. Of note, Rick Michaels defeated Ryan Drago. Cassie O'Reilly defeated Austin Creed. Jimmy Ray defeated Onyx. And then on the weekly house show, Ryan Drago defeated Brett Major. Rick Michaels and Kurt Stalling defeated Austin Creed and Rain Man. We had Akabono defeated Lazarus during the NWA National Heavyweight Title. Jason Cross defeated Cassie O'Reilly. So fun stuff. Some with people NWA Wildside still has, and some with people on our team. And then if we go up to AWQ, they had, I always forget whether I showed you guys this. No, you guys probably saw this. So they had the weekly show, which had Annette Blanchard defeat Cindy Rogers in a 47. We had Becky Bayless and Tracy Schiller defeat Parta Perez and Amazing Kong in a ladder match in a 47, and Becky's goodbye. Again, Becky's okay in ring, but she's doing here basically more for a character. Amy Sakura, Arrow, and Carla Chambers defeat Madison Eagles, Madison Claire, and Michelle McCool by countout in 61. Some of the women are getting there. Of course, Emmy's down here basically because I have nothing really for her to do. Miss Molly defeated Minoru Hasake in a 70. And there you go. If we go over to the WWE's Dev Feds, HWE had a big show. Let's see what's of note here. Dustin Lee and Aaron Stevens, aka the future Damon Sandow, defeated Mustafa Ali and Silas Young in was sure a tag match. We had Joel Grunge, Billy Riddle defeat Sean Devar and Daniel Rodimer. Ricky Page retained the HWE TV title, and Ray Steele is still your champion over Adam Pearce and Excalibur. Two people who are weirdly powerful in the modern day wrestling industry. And then if we go to OVW, let's see here. Did you guys see this? This happened on Wednesday. Yes. Okay, you guys probably saw that. Weekly Loop show. Really nothing of note. Beth Phoenix is in the ring. She's getting like 58s, so should probably be up soon. Shaggy and Andy is sure a tag team. Tony Mamaluke's doing well. Capital and Shark Boys are still your tag champions, and yeah, that's about it. And for the other Weekly Loop show, I'm just looking at anything of note. Beth Phoenix, really solid. But yeah, that's about it, really. So yeah, that's it for that part of the show. So now if we look around the wrestling world, if we go back to Revolution. Right. I think I showed you guys. Yes. Kevin Steen versus PCO. I totally showed you guys that. Other big shows. Iron had a big show. Main event with West Side Players. Boys LeGrand and Robert Thompson defeated Frankie Kazarian and Vic Capri. And Brent Albright versus Bryce Smith in a big boy match there. Let's see here. Kingdom had a show. Nakamura retained the nationwide title. El Samaro was in the main event. Let's see here. Michiko Pro had a big show, their anniversary show at 24,000. Had such matches as Bruce PK versus BG James. Sure. Also, Tiger Mask 4 and Kichua Rai defeated Super Crazy and Dick Gogo in a very good match. Then we had three bangers in the show. Wataru Inui defeated Kid Guzman. We had Nishida and Chad Collyer defeated Suzuki Michiyuki and Shinya Makabe. So yeah, these guys. And then Great Sasuke and Jinsei Sasaki, aka Akushi, defeated Shinjo Atani and Guido in a 7-8 in a match that would have been really full of lots and lots of stiff moves. BTW had a big show. John Zandig versus Tenryu in Big Japan was a match that happened in this world. Yeah, I don't know either. Also, Wife Beater versus Nakamura in a barbed wire match. Sure. Let's see here. When PW had a show, not much of note happened on it. Let's see here. CZW had a big show. Main event was Amazing Red versus Rick Blade, with Amazing Red winning the CZW title. Walls Mahoney versus Bruce Mastino. Prophet versus John Zandig. Yeah. And then also, as noted, where is New Japan? Right, New Japan had their big Super Tag League. So, main event was actually Tengoju defeating Hasei Nakanishi to retain the tag titles in a 91. And then we also had Shamrock and Nishimura defeated Bam Bigelow and Super J in a 65 in the semifinals. But let's look over the rest of the show here. So, we had Inso Inoue. Nope, sorry. Looks like only semifinals were on the show. So we had Jeff Bearden and Chris Candido defeated Yoshino and Super Demikin. Sure. In a 69. Then we had the pair of aces, which is Fayuki Hachirura and Mori defeated Matsushi and Kakahira in a 70. And then in the main event, in the finals, Jeff Bearden and Chris Candido won the G1 Climax Tag League over these guys. Kind of a weird show, honestly. Still 35,000 people, because of course it did. But yeah, that's New Japan for you. But that's where we are. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give a like. Comment below on what you're liking and not liking. Vote in the sort of weekly polls I'm doing for the TV shows. And, subscribe to the channel for plenty of TV 2020 content. Again, trying to get this a little more focused and maybe do a little bit more with other stuff like Journey Wrestling and Basketball GM, but that's just like what time I have. But, that's what it is. But that's for now. So talk later, and adios. Have a good one.